That's how it usually works. My screen says it's now live.
Yep, my screen just refreshed itself as well.
All right, guys, welcome. I apologize for all that. That was my fault. So either way, yep. If everybody could please let us know if we are heard, that would be fantastic. Voices, okay, good. Hi, guys. Thanks for joining us on this fantabulous celebration we have going here for SCRM Radio and the likes. So, ladies, how are you tonight?
I am awesome. How is everyone else?
Doing good.
Oh, yeah, definitely fantastic now that the stream is working. So again, I apologize for that. Some technical difficulties on my behalf, but now that we're here, we can celebrate the. And Tracy, you could probably go into more detail about why we are here.
Why we're here. Hi, Creepy Tales Corner. So why we are here? We are here because we hit a milestone today, which is appropriate for a radio station by the name of SCRM Radio, which is really cool. We hit a milestone of 13,000 listeners today for the month. And that is huge for us, considering that I started SCRM Radio like July the 1st. We ended the first month with just under 7,500 listeners for the month. And this is only the 21st of this month, and we've hit 13,000 listeners. So that is just really awesome. And we are really grateful for everyone who has tuned in and tweeted and retweeted and supported and shared and all of the awesome things that you guys have done. We thank you so much.
Definitely. And welcome, Manimal. Can you hear us?
Yep, I can hear you guys. Sorry I'm late. I got mixed up on the time deal, and I was like, oh, man, that's right now.
Did you put the people back in their cages?
Oh, yeah. Most of them. The ones that really like me, they crawl back in by themselves, you know?
Oh, good.
Well,
that's how I know it's real.
Yeah, that's like real love, you know? It's like...
Indeed. Or Stockholm Syndrome, whichever.
Yeah, whatever you want to call it. It's all the same.
It's all the same.
It
all
love.
Equals cuddles.
It is love. It is love. It is. They desire for us to love them.
Indeed.
Yeah. Well,
they say they don't like me, but they never take their eyes off me when I walk around in the cage chamber. So,
I mean, but they put the lotion on their skin, or else they get the knife again.
That's right. That's right. You get a spanking.
Spanking with the knife.
That's it.
Yes, I like it. I know, right, Mark? The month isn't even over yet, so I am hopeful that we will see some pretty cool numbers by the end of the month, at which point the server will reset and we will go from 0 again, and hopefully with you guys' help beat the numbers that we make this month. That would be really awesome.
Oh yeah, there's no doubt about that. We're surging. I can feel it.
We'll do it.
You can feel it in his bones.
Yeah, that's right. Shiver me timbers. Or
in the bones of our victims. I mean, whichever way you want to see it.
Oh, well, that works too. little harder to keep balance, but it's fun. But yeah, I'm getting good news from different DM rooms I'm in and stuff, you know, that aren't even horror fans, that because they're my buddies have turned in and they're like, I listen to this guy and this guy and this chick, and they're not just hearing me. They're digging it. This one cat turns out he's a huge radio fan.
This guy and this chick.
Uh-oh.
They're not just hearing me.
You got to turn down your volume.
Yeah, we got you. We got you, Rev. You just need to put in your headphones.
Yes, please put in headphones.
And mute your stream.
and mute your screen.
Yeah, we got you. You need to put in your headphones.
Oh my.
We promise we're professionals.
Oh yeah.
Is that better?
Much better.
There he is.
Much
Hey,
better.
Rev, what's up, man?
Hey,
Now you got to turn down you got to mute your YouTube screen.
Hang on here.
It sounds like somebody's riding around in a cage.
That's those
Animal.
bones we were talking about.
Animal, tell your
Okay, is
people to
that
be
better?
quiet, all right?
Hey, you guys, shut up. Get the stick.
Yeah, that's definitely better. I don't hear any of the feedback.
Don't make me get the fire hose out.
No. The fire hose.
I thought they learned their lesson last time.
Well, I've got some new ones.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, we like to rotate them, keep them fresh.
Don't get crazy on me, man.
Not
Hey,
any more than
welcome
I
in
usually.
imagination.
Hi, imagination.
Yeah. So just to let everybody know that this is the last time that we're going to do a stream on YouTube. From here on out, we're going to be streaming live from Twitch.
Hey.
Indeed.
So be on the lookout for that. I'm sure we'll have links and everything for you.
Yes,
Twitch
we
is just
will.
another platform that can utilize some horror content. There are some YouTubers that are going over that way.
Twitch is what our victims do, so it's appropriate.
Oh, indeed.
I like it,
Why?
which is
Yeah, is
exactly
that a-
what they do.
Is that a fan?
Is that a fan?
There, that's way better right there. I'm playing with my settings. They're mine. I can play with them when I like.
I can do whatever I want. You can't tell me nothing.
You can't tell me what to
Great.
do.
Yeah,
This
I
is
think
pretty
we've
clear,
got
though.
some kind of lag going on.
Yep, there's the rev.
Hey, Rev.
Hi, Rev. You
What's
made
happening,
it,
Rev?
right?
Here he is live on cam.
That's it.
Yeah.
And there he is, not live. Live.
Live, not live. Live, live,
That's awesome.
live, not live.
Okay.
Indeed.
Yep. Hey,
So
Meow.
what,
What's going on, Meow?
Hey, meow.
And that Twitch deal, that's that thing me and you did, Tracy, is it not?
Yes,
Don't
it
I-
is. No,
okay.
that was we did Discord the other night.
Right, but didn't we do a Twitch thing one time?
Yeah, you set it up. We haven't done. I know we make our victims Twitch, but we haven't set it up yet. We haven't done a call on that yet, but we did Discord.
Right on. I have too many fucking platforms, I guess.
Yeah, Discord is good as long as it works fine with OBS, but a lot of times there's such a lag between the two, and then you get a weird, twitchy kind of stream, I guess. No pun intended.
Right?
Haha. It won't.
Have
let
you,
me,
What's the Twitch?
It won't let me put it in there. You have to give me a wrench.
Oh, yes, I need to make you a moderator.
Yes, you have to give me a wrench.
Give you a wrench.
Give me a
Get to work.
wrench so that I
Get
can
her done.
hit people with
Get
it.
it done.
Make her
My
function.
imagination, infinity, and meow,
Ha.
and all of you wonderful people.
I'm going to
Is that
log out
fan
and come
again?
back in because it's madness on my end.
All right, we'll be here.
There's madness on my end as well.
Oh, yeah, I saw the
Madness
Rev.
on
Hey,
all our
there's the
ends.
Rev. Hey, there's the Rev. He went away again.
Have you guys, any of you guys tried out Zoom Us? ZOOM Us?
I have
No.
not. What is that? Is that
It's-
another platform?
Yep, it's another platform. My wife, one of her clients turned her onto it. It was originally set up for conference calls for businesses. Super clear video, audio, or just audio. You can record on it, and you can have up to 100 people in a room.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, yeah.
That won't
Yeah.
be disorganized at all.
Right? What a clusterfuck that would be, huh? I'd be hiding over in the corner somewhere. People are looking at us, man. Make them stop. Make them stop.
Yeah, that wouldn't be confusing at all. What?
That would be impossible.
I mean, this was so easy to start. So, 100 people at the same time, that would be awesome.
Yeah, well,
It's
pain in
crazy
the ass of
that
the internet.
there's two different volumes going on here.
We have what?
What?
Yeah,
Find
that's another problem with Hangouts. Tracy,
Why am I coming across really loud or what?
Well, no, I hear from Hangouts and then I hear from YouTube.
Ah,
Did
weird.
did you mute the stream?
Who? Rev? Rev
Yeah.
went away. I see Rev moving.
There it is. It's not different sounds, dude. It's different sides of your fucking head. That's He's like turns to the left. He's like, it sounds different. There it is. Turn to the right. That's in Korean. What the fuck?
He said Korean.
Right.
He said Korean. That's awesome.
All right,
Oh.
Tracy, you are now
It's like
moderator.
electronic acid or something.
Am I
Indeed.
now a moderator? I have
You
a
are now
wrench.
a
I can
moderator.
go on a killing spree.
You
Yeah.
now have power.
I can go on a killing spree.
My God, who gave Tracy a wrench?
What? I would never do anything to harm anyone ever.
Never.
Nah.
Never.
No, I am
Well,
such a nice
never.
person.
Especially with the wrench, that's just like your last choice. I mean, there's so much better toys to play
I
with.
am such a nice person.
I actually am
She
kind
is.
of
She's
stoked. I
incredibly
got a left-handed sheath for my heavy knife, and I've never had it before, even though I'm left fucking handed. If you can believe that shit. And you know why? You know why? Because the world is fucking right-handed and don't care about us. That's the truth. That's the truth.
I wish I could argue, but that's absolutely true. We don't care.
It is true. It is true. I got my first left-handed bow like 6 years ago. I shoot rifles right-handed. I've been shooting a bow my whole life right-handed. But one of my firefighter friends found a left-handed bow laying in the woods when they were cutting a burn. And we put it on Craigslist and everything. Tried to find the owner. Nobody claimed it, so he gave it to me. And I can't shoot the fucking thing. It doesn't work. I don't know how to work that side now, so it's crazy. But yeah,
Insanity.
I have a new home for my knife. The other sheath was in pretty bad shape. Had some sticky stuff all over it.
You can't get blood out of leather. You know that.
Not at all. Not at all. And bleach just fucks up the texture. So
It
screw it.
really does.
Buy
Yeah.
a new one.
So
Buy
you
a
just
new one.
gotta.
Just got to
I
oil the
know.
crap out of it,
You
Oh,
live and learn. So.
You live and learn. That's fact.
Live and learn.
No one starts off perfect.
Indeed. There's always that learning curve.
Yeah. Curve.
Absolutely.
Like with
And-
ceiling fans, the arterial sprayers. God damn it. God damn it. You're cleaning the whole fucking house now. The whole fucking house.
Might as well
bleach
make it a
changing?
week's vacation.
Well, when you go get a 5-gallon bucket of bleach, they just look at you, right? You know.
Yeah.
Well, when you're also picking up like duct tape and they're going to look at you funny,
Right. That's why you do that at a different store.
You got to pace yourself. There you go.
I go to the next county to buy supplies. You know what I mean?
Might as well go next street over.
Where
Go to the next county. Just go to the next street.
Red wig. It's curly.
Put the lotion in the basket, right?
Yeah.
Indeed.
Subtle's always the best way to go. Absolutely.
Oh, for sure. The Elvis glasses are a little off, but hey, fuck them. You gotta maintain yourself, right? Gotta be real.
You gotta have some style.
Because it's all about style.
The last time I was in style was on accident because I was a dirt poor kid with holy jeans and Van tennis shoes and T-shirts, and then Fast Times at Ridgemont High came out, and I was cool all of a sudden. I was like, what?
Well, and they were selling dirty jeans for a while, like the Nordstroms and Gap. I'm like, hey, just come to my house,
Fuck yeah, dude! It's like all my clothes look like that. Shit.
We're trendsetters,
Dude, and they're paying like $300 fucking dollars for those fucking britches. It's like, Jesus fuck Christ, man. Get you a $20 pair of Kirklands and go roll around in the fucking yard, asshole. What's the matter with you?
Easy killer. What's going on?
Jesus.
Okay. Order in the court. Order in the court. We have some questions over here. Go. So I put the Twitch link in there, so hopefully you guys can grab it.
Mm-hmm.
Imagination Infinity said, "Where are the pliers?"
Well, he doesn't get a plier. Yeah, he might. Well, I should give him a wrench, but he could probably go crazy with some power. But I could probably extend that to him. He's here enough.
Meow said, "I like the wrench." Imagination Infinity said, "What if you could give chicken wire as a symbol instead of a wrench?" And Miss Cat said, "Hey Manimal, how are you and the monkeys getting along now?"
Not really that well, to be perfectly honest. They all end up in the same place, my dear. They all end up in the same place.
And I know this to be true because I help him to get rid of the monkeys.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Tracy's Body Disposal Service. It's best in town.
It's the best in town. Hi, Lizzie. So, yeah, it is the best in town.
Well, I was one of the animals he got rid of. Or the monkeys. Frankly, I take exception to this. I gotta be honest.
We sent him into the desert.
With all my people.
It's proof we like you, though, dude. Because the other ones ended up in the basement dirt.
Right.
Right.
At least you get to see them. I'm off out in the middle of nowhere. I got nobody.
A bag of lie.
Right? You're still breathing, so that's a good thing.
That's
a plus, brother. Every day above dirt.
How is that above dirt? What are you?
I'm just saying. There are some people who are not above dirt.
And quite.
Okay. I guess I'll take what I can get. I don't know.
That's what it is. Positive attitude, brother. Positive attitude.
Positive attitude. Miss Cat said, "Are you going to start putting monkey jerky on the market?"
I'm still trying to figure out how to get the gray color out. People don't seem to appeal to it. But yeah, I mean, we could work a deal, I'm sure.
Just sell it during Halloween, market them as like monkey brains.
Boom, there you go.
Right. Well, for political PC purposes, we just call it bacon. Okay.
There you go. Yeah.
Back bacon,
mm-hmm.
Red bacon, and gray bacon.
Gray bacon, right.
Indeed. Different bacon.
The gray bacon's got that smell, though,
Gray bacon is
not the jerky smell we crave, but that kind of dead body, Not that that's not delicious, don't get me wrong, but
Yeah, it's quite tasty.
I'm hearing all these yummy noises.
Miss Cat said, add Worcestershire sauce.
No. It's fine how it is. If it lacks a little flavor, you just don't sneak up on them. Let them see you coming. Adds a little spice to it. Just
Fear
a little bit.
adds flavor to them.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed.
That adrenaline in the meat tissue, sure. You know.
Oh yeah. Then you don't need Worcestershire sauce.
Well, that's like ruining a perfectly good steak with A1. You know. Come on.
Hey, when she wrote that, did she spell Worcestershire right?
No.
I can't even say Worcestershire right. What are you talking about?
I know. But I was just going to be really fucking impressed if somebody spelled that shit right. I was going to be like, kudos.
For sure. Let's have a spelling contest right now.
I call it Tabasco. Okay, fuck that shit.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Is WORCESTERSHIRE because I'm a giant nerd.
Yeah, so the pronunciation is perfect.
You get
right?
a set of matching steak knives. That's amazing. That's
I know, right? Worcestershire sauce.
Worcestershire.
wow.
Yes.
Wow.
It sounds cool when you say it, lady. I'm impressed.
Yeah, I sound like I'm a 4-year-old that never got English down or something. I don't know.
Well, just the fact that she could read it like that, letter for letter, without fucking up, halfway through it, I would have been like, what?
Yeah. Let's do another take.
That's why I'm in recorded radio. That way I don't have to do that. It's like, oh yeah. My outtakes are insane. Sometimes they're just us staring at the camera.
I'm taking my video down because I'm starting to get self-conscious here, my brothers and sisters. All right.
Why are you self-conscious?
I'm the only one doing video. It's like, yeah, look at the fat guy. What's happening here? Now, we're not, you know. Hey, that wasn't that funny. All right.
I'm covered in fucking paint. My hair is a mess. I haven't my makeup on. That's
You're such a slave to fashion. You know.
Oh, I know. Isn't it terrible? Someone tried to sell me a fucking shirt without a pocket on it the other day, and I was like, "Good sir, get away from me!" No.
What is this sorcery? What are you talking about?
It's just madness, absolute madness. I suppose you wear vests without pockets too, sir, right? And who the fuck has a fake pocket on a vest? Stop that.
Oh, it's like the pocket you got to cut open on a jacket. Don't get me started. Good God.
Exactly. It's like, whose idea was that?
That's how they get you. You know,
that's how they get you. Right, because you end up taking it back. You're like, dude, this pocket don't work.
And they're like, no, retard. It's 2017.
I thought it was still 1492. Stab.
Stab. Miss Cat Max said, we love watching you, Rev. And Meow said the Rev is great. So there you have it.
Well, thank you very, very, very much. That is too kind of you. The fat old guy will take what he can get. I'll tell you.
Let's do one of these numbers here. Let's go for Rev.
Yep, one of those.
Hey. Yay. Happy birthday to you. Or no, wait.
Just remember, he's our Rev. And every station needs a reference, so we have ours.
Well, you know, I actually feel kind of weird about it because I'm the only one that doesn't do like a strictly horror gig, right? You know, I'm doing paranormal, the creepypastas. I love them to pieces. You guys are the most talented people I've ever seen. But I'm the guy that just tells crazy historical paranormal stories on the station. So, you know.
And Rev, that's why we love you. That's why we have you here. Every station needs a Reverend like you. So I'm honored that you're part of the station.
Oh, thank you, kindly, brother.
Boom, there you go. No self-doubt over here.
Now, we could definitely take this another level, and if anybody wanted to open up to a Q&A, or if you guys wanted to do any kind of introductions, talk a little bit about yourself, if you want to go that route, or we can just keep shooting the shit.
Sure.
Let's do a Q&A.
I hurt things. I'm done. Yeah, I'm down with the Q&A. Let's do it.
Down with the Q&A. Auntie, you still with us?
Yes, let's do a Q&A.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Auntie, there you are. Goodness.
Auntie!
You're just sitting in the background watching us all be idiots. What's going on here?
For anyone in the chat that who we are, how about we just do a quick round of, hi, I'm this person. This is what I do. You know, kind of sum it up for anyone who doesn't know who we are. You know, if you guys don't know us, you're gonna know us. So
Correct.
Exactly.
And let's go ahead and do let's do a ladies first thing and start with Auntie.
Oh, okay.
If you're ready. Angry Toads is here, by the way.
Okay. Well, I'm Auntie Creeps. I read scary stories on YouTube, VidMe, and of course, SCRM Scream Radio. And I've been doing it since February. And I don't know.
That's fine. That's good.
Woohoo!
It's great to have you, Auntie, as always. And again, you and I will need to collaborate, get together again and do that. I love the story that you gave me, so I'm going to get the story to you and put you over on my channel.
Oh, absolutely.
So,
I'd love that.
Groovy.
And the lady that needs a little introduction, but she can go ahead and tell us a little bit about herself. Let's hear from Tracy.
Hi, I am here. Okay, give me a second. I'm going to show a little unity with the Rev for a minute. How about
Yay!
Yay.
Okay, so let me see.
There you go.
Can you see me?
Yay! Oh, there you are.
Can you see me? Can you guys see me?
Oh, hey, Tracy.
It was there for a second.
Our beautiful queen.
I think, did it cut back off?
Only when you talk. I got you. I thought Rev was turning his shit on and off. That's all right, bro. I'm sorry, man. I thought you were freaking out. Sorry, Your Grace. Go ahead.
Okay, I turned it on, so it should be showing.
It is every time you talk.
Okay, so hi, I am Tracy, and I own a Scream Radio. And for those who weren't here earlier, oh, thanks, Kat. For those who weren't here earlier, I started Scream Radio July the 1st, and did the month of July with 7,498 listeners. And today we broke 13,000 listeners for the month. So I'm very, very happy about that part of it. And it is definitely all due to everyone of you and everybody that's not on here listening to us live, just listening and tuning in and sharing and supporting us and all of those wonderful things. And so I look forward to Scream Radio growing and just taking over the planet, because that's what I want to do. World dominion.
Well,
Right on.
very well put. You know, world domination is like back in the days of Pinky and the Brain.
Exactly.
You know,
Except we're going to actually succeed. We're going to take over the world.
Yes.
That is my plan every day. I talk to Pinky every day, and I ask him what we're going to do, and Pinky always says he doesn't know, and I remind him that we're going to take over the world. So that's what we're going to do.
Well, you're asking someone who's actually the genius if you believe those conspiracy theories where Pinky is actually the smart one and the brain is kind of the, you know, the not so smart one.
Well, Pinky was smart, except Pinky was smart in that he was less likely to do the daring, crazy stuff that ended up getting them put back inside the cages, and Brain was more outspoken. So they made a pretty good team.
Gotcha.
Pinky had that
Well, speaking of
Zen
cages
thing going on, you know.
Definitely. Yeah. Speaking of cages, let's get to know a little bit more about Manimal.
Yes, Manimal.
The floor is yours. Are you exposing yourself on video?
Oh, didn't I see? I saw the toads in there. There are angry toads in the chat. Hi, angry toads.
Yeah, they're in there too. Right on. Well,
anyway,
I'm Manimal, and I I don't do anything really. No, I'm one of the contributors on SCRM Radio, of course. And this is all brand new to me. I've never done anything like this. I've been a labor guy most of my life, just working. And Tracy's a good buddy of mine, long before this radio deal. And she hit me up one day if I wanted to be on radio. She liked the way my tweets that I wrote and stuff. And we had talked to each other a few times. She knew we had problems. You know, there was something wrong with us, and she liked us anyway. So we hung out, and she hit me up. Was like, "Do you want to do this radio gig with me?" And I was like, "You bet, babe. Let's do this." And here we are. We're doing radio gig, and just getting into it. I've only got the one series on there right now. Notes to No One, about a crazy person. And it's doing well. The feedback I've got a little bit has been pretty good so far. I hope folks are liking it. Anybody out there listening to this, you know, check us out, SCRMradio.com. Listen live, click right on it, and you're on. It's good stuff. And buku talent. There's a lot of really, really, really talented people doing this shit with us, and I recommend it. Of course, I recommend it. But yeah, that's me. I've been married 32 years. I've got 2 sons. Oh. I live in Montana. Scratch that. I've been married 31 years, and I've been with her for 32. You
better get that right, man.
I know, because she'll be like, and I'll be like, but yeah, that's me in a nutshell. Dad, husband, love the woods. I like hurting things, putting it in cages. Yeah, the tranquil stuff, the stuff that, you know, really gets a motherfucker relaxed. You know what I mean?
The stuff of fairy tales.
Indeed. Yeah, fishing, hunting, mountain stuff. I live in Montana, so that's me, and it's really not much else to tell. I like writing crazy shit, and Tracy's given me the opportunity here to get it out there to the rest of the world and see if anybody else likes it. And, you know, we're hoping that everybody does like it. And everybody's doing a great job too. I dig all you cats hanging out with you. Some of you are my new friends, but I'm still digging all of you. I'm choking on smoke here. We're surrounded by fucking wildfires, and can't get away from it. So one of my recordings I tried to do last night just sounded like Darth Vader was drowning and shit. So we let that one go. We went ahead.
That's the story waiting to be written right there.
It is. It's the part that Lucas never approached me on, dude. So, you know.
The real death of Darth Vader. Yeah. That's great. Yeah, just to remind you guys that, you know, of course, that is Manimal, and fantastic part of SCRM Radio. Love having him on there. And hopefully, I'd love to do a story with you as well, as I'm sure, you know, we're working on something. You know, something's in the works for you guys, just to give a little heads up, little nod, little hint, little wink, you know, story that's being wrote.
Little wink, nudge, nod.
Yeah.
And
well,
all
if you
of
guys,
the above.
There are links in the description, so if you wanted to go over after the stream and listen to SCRM Radio, there's a link that I provided in the description that'll take you right to the listening of SCRM Radio on your computer or phone, as well as our you can follow us on Twitter. I provided that as well.
Cool.
And
because Immunity Zero is awesome.
I do what I do. You know, I do what I do.
Yeah, I've been checking everybody's out stuff as much as I can, but yeah, I'm still in the learning curve on this radio stuff, so it kind of consumes most of my time. But I'm trying to get everybody, you know, to where I know. And plus, I'm a little banged up in the top knot, so I forget things really fucking easy. And it takes me a minute to sort everybody out, but once everybody's down, I'll have it all together. But I'm definitely going, and I'm subbing everybody and checking everybody's stuff out, and I haven't found anything that sucked yet, except my poop video on YouTube.
Self-deprecating.
Oh, you're crazy.
That's the one that when the Academy Awards come around, I'm going to be like, you guys can't play that.
Yeah.
You can't show that.
When the Academy Awards come around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one
We'll
that
make sure
Tarantino will
everyone
take a
knows
look
about
at,
it. Yeah, then he'll remake it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could do it with, some CGI,
There you
get a
go.
younger man to play me, with abs and shit. We definitely want. We want him to have abs, some cool tattoos, right? Yeah. We can work on that
Yeah.
later.
There you go.
Yeah, for real.
That's another show.
All right.
Fuck,
I
Definitely.
like it.
me all the time, you guys. All the time.
All right, sweet. All right, let's hear from you, Rev. Let's get a little insight on your life.
Okay, well, first and foremost, I'm a father for sure. I've got 3 great kids. I know that's not about the radio gig, but Michael, Phoenix, and Gabriel are my children, my 2 sons and my daughter. I've been doing paranormal investigations for just about 30 years, over 30 years if you take my first case. What's ironic is I went to the American Conservatory Theater for a couple of years in the early 90s. So I do have a little bit of acting background. I play the redneck idiot in Manimal's story that'll be coming up in a little bit here on his next installment. And what's really ironic for me is that when I do the paranormal investigations in some of the stuff that I talk about, it's a real gig. I have pictures of demons and horrible things, and I've had these horrible experiences. But as a paranormal investigator, you run towards that stuff. It's like when I was in the Army and you'd hear gunfire, you run towards the horrible stuff. You know what I'm saying? And it's I've always been attracted to it, and I'm also a cinephile. I love horror, especially horror from the 70s. That's my personal favorite. 70s are my favorite decade. But again, I'm very old, so there is that for sure.
He said I'm old.
There is.
Well, I'm 52, but I read at a 30-year-old level, and I think that's important to point out.
That is important. That is important.
Yeah. So there's that. And obviously, I'm absolutely hilarious.
Oh,
thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. The
Absolutely.
crazy. So that's pretty much me. I've always been attracted to the strange and unusual, from my literature taste to my movies, but especially movies. And I still do the horror movie reviews because I love it. I know I've been cruel to a few movies, but honestly, if you're going to spend the time to make a movie, even if it's a B movie, this is something that you love and you care about, right? So make sure that comes across on the film. I'll give a movie a great review if they spent $10 on it and they loved what they were doing. You know what I'm saying? But to put out crap just to put out crap still makes me crazy, whether it's horror or not, but especially horror, because I want to know that the entrails look like entrails. When I was doing horror movies when I was in high school on 8mm, some of the funnest stuff was like, how do we make the vomit look real? You know what I mean? And how do we make the blood and the entrails look really cool? So it really bothers me when in this day and age when we can do just about anything from your laptop, that somebody's not going to put that extra effort in, either in character development. And I know this is stupid because it's horror movies, right? But it's a genre that I care deeply about. And if you're not going to put the effort in, I'm coming after you. That's all I'm saying. So that's me. That's all I got.
You're a fan of horror movies, and your favorite decade is the 70s. So I got to ask, Tracy and I were actually talking about this movie a little bit the other night, and I think it's from 1977. It's called Deathbed.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So
that movie.
The movie is shit, but it's a great idea.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Maybe someone like a Tarantino and Eli Roth or Alexandra Aja, one of those guys, need to remake it.
I couldn't agree more. And I think out of the directors you just mentioned, Eli Roth would be the man. I mean, when you see like Green Inferno, right? Take that and put it into that movie. Oh my God,
that it'd be fantastic.
Yeah, and I'm not one of those guys that ran out of the theater during Green Inferno and was like, "Oh my God, that's so horrible." I was like, that is amazing. That was so realistic. How the hell, Eli? You were the man. So
that's one film that I need to watch still, but I've heard comparisons between that and that. I don't know if you want to call it an atrocity or if you want to call it a stroke of genius, toward the zombie Holocaust, I think it was called.
Yeah. No, I'll agree for sure. I think that
Zombie Holocaust had its moments.
Eli Roth really put for me the way that the natives took what was going on so matter-of-factly was the horror in that no, we're eating people, this is what we do. So there wasn't this terrifying experience for them, and then you've got these Westerners that come in with a completely different mindset. Of course, they're also the ones being eaten, so it's going to be kind of terrifying, but they've got this. For them, it's horrific, and for the natives, it's just a way of life. And he really did that well, and kind of made the Westerners look like assholes, in my opinion. But I'm not. I love people, but I'm not a fan of humanity. So
you think that film is something similar to like if today's society, not just America, but anyone living in the Western culture, could be England, America, Canada. You think that's like holding a mirror up to what we are and what we've become from what we were?
I do, to a certain degree. I think it really emphasized more than anything else for me, and maybe it's because of my background, that as Westerners, we have an idea that everybody wants what we have, that Western culture is the pinnacle of culture. And when we go into cultures that are not our own, even if they're cannibal cultures, we put our own, these poor people, they don't understand what's going on here, when they're perfectly fine chowing down on people and living out in the middle of nowhere and doing their thing, right? To me, it was more a reflection on kind of Western culture. Even and I can't give it away because you haven't seen it, but even the ending of the movie, I think really hammers it home. And this weird self-obsession that we have as Americans. Like, don't you realize how important I am? Does that make any sense? Am I babbling here?
No, that makes a lot of sense. There was no babbling at all. But yeah, I think if nothing else, we're making people want to watch the film. I definitely want to watch it.
Excellent.
At some point, I'll get to it.
And I have a tendency to read too much into stuff, so I could be reading way too much into this little movie. But it's kind of what we do as when we review movies, right? That's kind of our job, is to dive in and to swim in the entrails of the movie. So,
and oftentimes it's more entertaining to review a bad movie than it is a good movie.
Well, I love the crazy thing is I love a good bad movie. A good B movie, yeah. Oh my God!
Here.
The Evil Dead series is a classic example of that. And then I've modeled my life after Bruce Campbell is both sad and entertaining. But
Imagination Infinity said the chat has become silent.
Oh no!
It's probably something I did, you guys.
No, you give Rev the mic and everybody bails is what happens.
The listeners. Oh yeah, it's fucking Rev's on there. Later.
Yeah, everybody's saying bye-bye. Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. You can see I killed the chat. Oh, God. Here we go. Unbelievable.
My camera wasn't pointing at the cages, was it? That causes problems with
there's proof.
People freak the fuck out. They're like, what the fuck? That's a real person in there.
It still says there's 11 people in the chat when I go to the site, but I don't see...
Yes, it says it's still people watching.
Oh, I feel bad.
Someone type. Can you hear us? One of you guys out there listening, type.
Okay, he said yes.
All right.
And Miss Cat says she's just listening to the fascinating conversation.
Well, then let's talk to those three people. Then that's fine.
He said 3 people.
It's usually me, my dog, and my fern.
Exactly. Did you hear that cute little laugh? Holy fuck!
It was adorable, man.
That
What's
was
happening to you?
adorable. Goddamn. I don't. Was that me? Holy shit.
I thought it was. I don't know what's happening.
I thought it was Tracy. If it was me,
no.
What?
I think
I
you're right.
didn't do anything.
That had Tracy written all over it.
either that or it was my inner child. That little fucker gets out.
I'm just saying.
I think my inner child's in one of your cages, brother.
I know.
Let me check.
Auntie.
Most of the smaller ones are empty right now.
Auntie, Kat said you are way too quiet.
Yeah.
Oh, I just didn't want to interrupt.
Oh, God, jump in. We're insane. Are you kidding me?
Hey, Swamp.
She's taking
Swamp,
notes.
what's going on, man? Welcome to the stream.
Oh, there's another person in there.
Hey, Swamp
Yeah,
Dweller.
Swamp Dweller. Yeah, he's
Swamper.
he's inches away from 20K subscribers. So
No shit. Wow.
yeah, but I think he's coming up on his year. I think in November. So he's got it
My
going.
12 followers' eyebrows just went up. They were like, what?
Yeah. We're just chilling here, Swamp, and getting to know all the lovely hosts and everyone from SCRM Radio.
And the reason why we're having this conversation, Swamp, is because we are celebrating breaking 13,000 listeners for the month. So we decided to on and introduced ourselves to you guys and said thank you, and thank you so very much for every retweet and share and everything that you've done, because you guys are listening, and so we can't do this without you guys. Hey, Silent Storm.
Testify, Tracy.
Well said. Well said.
Yep.
So, and
Thank
we
you,
hope
Swamp.
you guys continue to tune in and continue to check us out and listen to these wonderful narrators. And if we're lucky, somebody might actually read something before we get off here tonight.
Indeed.
Dude,
Well, without our listeners, we're just a handful of fucking weirdos sitting around talking to each other. Okay?
I'd like to see.
Who may or
I
may
think
not
we're
be
still-
serial killers, but that's not proven yet.
Yeah.
I
Miss
still think we're
Cat.
probably some weirdos, yeah.
Hey, Miss Cat. So yeah, I actually do have music that is up for sale. I actually have videos that are out. I'm shooting a video on Sunday. I am releasing new music in October, so I'm gearing up for that new single to drop. But I actually have some music that's already out on Spotify, Amazon, all major music retailers, Google Music, Google Play, Tidal, and it's called Favorite Songs. So, yeah, it's already out.
Yay!
Crazy Ralph said we're going to end the live stream with a live murder.
Oh,
and
hey,
Imagination Infinity said, I want
Sounds
that.
good.
That's one way to get
that's
your
not
stream shut
smart.
down.
The
Not
one I'm
only
staring
that,
at right now is
that's
getting
one way to
freaked
get
out.
us in jail. So we can't do that live.
Aw.
We'll be in jail.
If the authorities are listening, my name is Ralph Emerson. John
Well, the
Brown.
one I was staring at relaxed.
No, we can't do that live. We will be in jail. But that's a nice thought. So
Well,
Swamp Dweller
Swamp
said
volunteered.
I volunteered as tribute. All right.
Swamp.
He's also,
Swamp, we can't
he's
call
also
the
not
herd
that
with
far
our
away from me.
listener.
So.
He's not far away from you either. He's putting himself out there then.
Swamp, get a hold of yourself, man.
Nah, Swamp, we don't want that.
Just remember,
I mean,
modus
who knows? We
operandi
might have some
is
people
Latin for how to get caught.
for how to get caught.
That's what
So we may have a few readings in this stream at some point, and I might even sing something. So there you have it.
All right.
That's what I'm talking about.
I might
There it
even
is.
sing something. There it is.
Hey, I wanted to say something real quick here. I'm going to be going to a couple of horror cons in October, And I had an interview set up, believe this or not, with Bruce Ash Campbell, Bruce the Man.
Whoa.
I'm trying to reset that up, and I think it would be huge. And I only say that because he's my hero. So
He's everybody's hero.
Is it? Am I
He's
lying?
everyone's
He's
hero.
the man. That and Elvira. I've been talking to Elvira's people too, and they're both the nicest people I've ever dealt with. So I'm really hoping we can make this happen, in you guys. So that'll be on Scream Radio, and then we'll put it on the YouTube channel for the visuals, but the audio will be on Scream, and hopefully the video we can get on Scream Radio too. The first one, Scream Fest, is it's a horror con for new horror directors and writers. So it's going to be all new stuff that comes out, and then Scream Fest that happens a couple weeks later is more of the classic kind of Scream or kind of horror con. But the first one, a lot of up and coming directors and actors are going to be involved with it. So stay tuned, you guys. We got a lot of really, I'm just the schmo here, but we've got a lot of really new and really exciting stuff coming up. And I am telling you, everybody that you see on the screen, and of course, Mr. Creepypasta and everybody else that we've got on the radio station, we don't have anybody that's not, in my personal opinion, is the fat 52-year-old guy. Just amazing and talented. And
God, I love that song.
Oh yeah,
I swear,
when you hear these guys,
you
listen to some of these guys' creepypastas, because they are the stories that, even when they're just reading, some of the readings that have been done, the pose, and I'll listen to them as I'm going to sleep. I mean, they're phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal, talented people. So I'm done plugging, but I'm telling you guys, the stuff that's coming up on the horizon is exciting, and it's new, and these crazy kids that are working at this radio station are just some of the funnest people, but some of the most talented people when it comes to hearing their voices and the way they're able to change their voices and to really draw you into the stories that they're telling. And most of them either write them or know the people that did write these stories. Just the talent is off the charts. And I'll stop now, but I really wanted to plug that the talent that these guys have for transporting you into the story. If you haven't listened to Scream Radio a lot, please do. And don't just listen to one or two. Take a week and every day listen to a couple of new guys. And I'm telling you, it'll change your life. And I don't mean to get Tony Robbins on you here, but you'll make $1 million and you'll be an incredible success and you're on your own home.
That's awesome.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, Imagination. It's actually a little cheaper tonight. It's $2.99 for the first minute and $1 for each additional minute.
So nice. So you're getting a deal
nice.
too. You know what I'm saying?
So you're getting a deal for the secrets that we're going to ask you to keep.
Yeah.
And if you
Usually it's
listen for an hour
for the first minute.
You not only get a set of matching steak knives, but you get a machete that makes wonderful fries julienne.
There you go.
And I'm kidding, so don't think you're actually getting a machete or steak
one
knife.
of these beauties right here.
That's great, wasn't it? Yeah.
You're so it's a special Scream discount.
It is. It's a special Scream. You have to scream though to get the discount.
But we gotta believe it. When I hear you
just
scream,
like the kids, people have to scream to get the food and stuff.
Yes.
right.
Exactly.
But when we hear you scream, I want to hear a scream. And when I say scream, you know what I mean. I better hear your soul leaving your body. All right. That's
you know what? That is one thing we should do on Twitter, probably in the near future, is just hold a screaming contest.
Oh, you are brilliant, brother. Oh my God.
I like it.
And
I'm thinking right now my money is on Swamp.
Yeah.
So
hey, man, that guy's willing to give it all. I mean, good night. I'll maybe give you a toenail clipping, but that guy's willing to give his life. What are we talking about here?
We accept green and orange ouchie.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that Tracy does. I don't accept molds and funguses. I
use it for the body.
One on the corner.
It helps to get rid of the bodies.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, yeah.
Well, I still have.
Yeah, it helps to get rid of the bodies.
Indeed.
The body cleanup service.
The Scream
Now we're
contest
back
is such
to
an exciting idea. That is fantastic.
That sounds awesome.
Good idea.
I do too.
I like it too.
I mean,
What do you think, Cage people? Do you like that fucking idea? They like it.
I'm sure that they
They
do.
like it.
Okay,
They can
I gotta say
contribute.
something here.
When
They
they
can
back up in the
You are
contribute.
the
corner.
Yes.
quietest person. Auntie, you got to say something here. You got to either tell us a story or give us your favorite food or your favorite death scene in a movie. You're killing me with your silence, all right?
Oh my God.
Favorite villain, go.
Favorite villain.
Yeah.
Favorite villain. I like Candyman.
Oh,
Old school Freddy Krueger.
that
um,
priest from Exorcist, right? Fucking dude.
Yeah.
Oh, he was a dude. He was a dude.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm like tongue tied right now.
Well, Auntie, what's your favorite death scene in a movie?
Oh,
I
I
know
gotta
there's
think
a lot.
about that one.
That's
Yeah, there's a lot.
That's not a fair question, bro.
Yeah, I'll have to get back with you on that.
But you better keep talking. This tongue-tied thing, I'm not buying it because you are a chatty Cathy on Twitter, and you get here on the live stream, and I'm not hearing anything. I don't know what's going on.
That's right, Rev. Say it. Say it.
What got you into horror, lady? Let's go there.
There you go.
Oh, well, I've just been a horror fan since I was a kid. I used to stay up late and watch like the old movies, on Saturday nights.
Why?
And would scare the crap out of myself. Oh, I remember y'all remember the movie with the voodoo doll, that little voodoo doll that came to life?
Trilogy of Terror, yeah.
Yes.
Trilogy of Terror.
Yes. Oh my
That's
God.
the best movie
a fucking
ever.
gunslinger with that shit. He's like, bam.
That scared me so bad.
That's
I remember I
awesome.
was sick home from school like a few days after that movie was on.
Nice.
And I was so scared to look around corners, because I was alone because my parents were at work. And I was scared to look around corners. I just knew that little doll was going to come after me. So, yeah, I've just always been a horror fan. And, well, I used to do video reviews of Asian horror movies. It was an old website. They used to do a podcast, and that was fun. So I don't know. I got to where I didn't like doing, I didn't like being on camera anymore. So I just kind of quit doing that. But yeah, I've always been a horror fan, and I've always wanted to be in radio. I was in radio for a little while, long time ago. I used to read weather and promos at this little local station.
Oh, wow, cool.
Yeah,
Nice.
and that was fun.
I know both my father and my acting teacher both told me that I have a face for radio. So I hear you,
Oh, you have a nice face, Rhett.
Thank you. Your pity is much appreciated. That's all
No,
I'm saying.
it's not
You
pity.
have a face. You have a face for raiding Wessex, brother. Okay.
Well, I know that I'll appreciate.
And
My
that's
Norwegian
good.
blood
Pity
screams
no one.
triumph. Thank you.
Indeed. 1,000 Swedes ran through the weeds, chased by one Norwegian.
Hey,
That was my
Immunity.
grandpa's favorite poem. He was like, "That's the truth of it, boy. That's the truth of it."
Okay, now Immunity. Why don't you tell us your background and then tell us your favorite death scene from a horror flick?
No.
Boom. There you go.
boom. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I am Immunity Zero. I've been doing this wonderful narration thing on YouTube for a little more than a year now. Thanks to everyone who submitted their stories for me to celebrate the anniversary of my 1 year. I've been telling stories for a number of years now. I've done some voiceover work back in the day. Even had a channel on YouTube when it first. It's not there anymore because YouTube. YouTube is YouTube. So I love doing what I do. I've always thought about a broadcast future in radio maybe, but radio takes too long to get into. A little about me that a lot of people are knowing. or well, not knowing, but I've shared a little more of my life. I have two teenage daughters. Actually, one's an adult now. She'll be 19 in December. And I got my youngest. She's 17, and she is a senior in high school.
Got two teenagers at the same time. Ouch, brother.
I was a playful young lad. You know?
I like it.
Definitely. But you know, like I've been doing this thing for a number of years, and I would tell stories just because, or I'd write stories, or I'd write some poetry, or do something artistic. I'm not going to get too much into the music background, but there's a musical background also.
Nice.
That's for another Q&A way down the road, whenever I do one. But not that I'm shy about anything. It's just I'll save that for a different stream. I love Imagination Says I Am Father Pretzel. Awesome. Yes. That's what we should get started, because I see Swamp saying I'm his dad, and apparently I'm Mark's mom.
Yeah, there you go.
That's a tough one to pull
and
off, boss. You're very personal.
You are seriously talented right there.
Serious.
That's talent.
There we go. Yeah, well, that's a little more of an insight. You know, my kids were raised by me and a few family members that were close to me, but primarily just, I guess I am a mom and a dad, but whatever. A little, Cherry Coke is my favorite soda. Does that count?
Sure, yeah, lay it on us,
It
brother.
does. It absolutely counts.
Open your soul.
Open your soul and take the cherry in.
Share your soul with us. We will devour your soul.
Even if it has 3 mortgages on it, like mine.
There you go. Boom.
Boom.
Hey, welcome in, Logan. As far as favorite death scene, there's just so many to name.
How about favorite horror scene in a movie? I mean, one of the movies that changed my life was actually a TV movie that was, Be Afraid of the Dark, that Del Toro remade, that was so good a few years back. Don't Be Afraid of the Dark, about these little people that dragged this woman down the stairs. Oh, it was so terrifying.
Oh my God, I remember that.
Was like remember that. Now that was an early 70s gig, but for me, it really changed my life about horror. Then I got into Frankenstein and all that stuff. But what I'm asking you, is there one scene or one horror flick that you said, okay, this is what I dig, this is what I want to do? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so many to name, but just ones that pop off my head right now, I'll name 2 of them.
Excellent.
It's Johnny Depp's death scene in Nightmare.
Nice. Nice pull.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Then the opening scene to what was actually not too bad of a film on later views, but first viewing is like, what the fuck am I watching? But Ghost Ship. The opening scene
I love Ghost Ship.
Yes. That opening scene is insanity.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good movie all the way around.
I love that scene. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So those are 2 that I can name a few right now. But ask me on another day, and I'll probably give you 2 other scenes. Horror. I mean, when I first met Tracy, she and I talked for maybe 2, almost 3 hours. I think the first time we talked. And it was we talked about horror and what it kind of meant to us. And I always said horror to me, it's a hell of a lot cheaper than therapy.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, and I'll stick by that.
And they don't put you in fucking chains and shit.
Exactly. I have no straitjacket on me, because I can narrate someone else's story, or I can dabble in writing some stories, or I can be like, hey, let me go watch somebody get bludgeoned to death, and okay, that's not real. I hope.
Indeed.
But, that's kind of me in a nutshell, and it's funny because my kids kind of follow the same way, although they're a little more tamer than I am, especially when I was their age. But
yeah, I hear that.
That's pretty much me in a nutshell, and that's for the better, I think. I don't want them being like I was when I was their age. So
yeah, no, absolutely. Nice, man. It's good to get to know you, brother. Good night.
Hell yeah.
Right. I mean, we know you now. Yay. Oh, wait. So I forgot to mention that I have minions.
Nice.
I have 3 of them, and they're all
Minions.
sociopaths.
All sociopaths.
They hate everybody.
Nice.
Well, that's all
They
right.
hate everybody. They don't like people. They tell me that often. They hate.
Well, now
Well,
we're
I
back
agree
to
there,
what
Swamp.
size.
Yeah, you see, Swamp's got the right idea when he says the moment Michael Myers killed his sister in the original movie, that's when he knew it.
I would
Very
end
good.
up.
That was good. That was a pivotal moment.
Yeah. And-
Mine
and-
was Creature from the Black Lagoon, actually.
nice.
I was a little dude, and where I was at in the desert, we didn't have, fucking, I had like 3 channels going on, but we could pick up one of the first Fox test channels out of Vegas, and since it was a test thing, it was all reruns. That's all they really didn't have any of their own programming, so it was kind of groovy as a kid because, man, I watched Howdy Doody in the morning and shit. I caught all this TV that it was way past. And one of the things on there was World Beyond and, these that showed the old school horror movies. And I saw Creature from the Black Lagoon. God damn, I had to been strapped like 6, something like that. And was just gripped by the story of it, and I had also recently become a fan of the Beauty and the Beast story in itself. So when it was the perfect storm, if you will. I seen the scene where he is swimming upside down under her, and the water's dark, so she can't see him. Man, that shit stood my hair up, and I got a lot of fucking hair, you know what I mean? And it was just like, holy shit, that underneath monster thing, really, I felt quite at home with that idea. Like the things just under the surface. And I always seen it, even as a little dude, that it was saying something else, It wasn't just this fish thing. It was somehow speaking about us, people, if you will. And it was instant, man. I was hooked. And then I saw zombie movies, started getting the Romero's shit, and I was gone, dude. I was gone.
Zombies always scared me. Always.
Hell yes. I love them.
Well, I don't know about you guys, but that was a rite of passage watching Night of the Living Dead. In our neighborhood, or in the Bay Area, it was Bob Wilkins had the horror show, kind of like a virus horror show on Friday nights. And if you could make it all the way through Night of the Living Dead, you were now a man. Whether you were 13 or 12, you know what I mean? But that movie was like the God. Did you see on Creature Features? Night of the Living Dead last night, and if you couldn't make it through it, you were under the bus. You know what I mean?
All right. Yeah, I was hooked from young age. It was always and I think it's just that thing, you can experience fear that's safe relatively, even though you still go through those emotions, you still find yourself there, especially me, I've got this fucking crazy imagination, and it was way worse when I was a kid, sometimes reality and fantasy blurred back and forth for me a little bit, but to be able to go into those worlds, be scared, run from monsters, root for the hot chick, all that good shit. That was just a great place for me to be. It was better than the world that I had when I opened my eyes. You know what I mean? And so it was a refuge for me at super young age. All kinds of ungodly chaos be going on behind me. Fucking it. I got my little 12-inch black and white and digging it, baby. Just let it happen. But yeah, hooked all the way through, always have been. And both my sons are. They like horror. Wife hates it. She doesn't want nothing to do with it. She's like, no, I'll watch a love story or something. But
we do have a question.
That's a relationship. You got to accept them for their flaws.
right?
Yeah.
Better or worse.
Yeah, for better or worse, indeed. But yeah.
Swamp wants to know what are your thoughts on found footage films?
Oh man,
I freaking love them. I'll be honest with you.
It depends on the flick.
Yeah, for
Blair
the most
Witch
part,
Project, baby.
I just saw the Monster Project and loved it. I'm a huge fan of if they're done right, found footage. When I first saw Blair Witch, it was when everybody thought this was real, right? Because they had done that promo where you go to the website and you'd read all these articles.
What do you mean it's not real?
About the stuff that happened. Well, no, it's totally real. About stuff that happened behind the scenes, and that they made it on their credit cards. I mean, when I found out the real deal, was like, oh my God, I could make a horror flick. Do you know what I mean? It would like open the door to all these possibilities that when those kids were pounding on their tent and they're giggling, I just about shit my pants. All right, good night. That was cool.
That was scary.
That was cool.
but it's real.
It is real.
Yeah, it's real.
And the ones that do the
Blair Witch
they do
is my
some
mom.
really amazing special effects now in those. And because they're found footage, it freaks me out.
Yeah.
All right,
My mother had a 13-year-long staring contest. Then she threw me out.
All right, we got another question from Logan Pell. What was your first scary movie that you watched?
Oh wow!
Way back.
My first scary movie was actually Night of the Living Dead and the original Little Shop of Horrors all in the same night.
Wow.
Yeah, my first two horror movies that I watched was The Howling and Nightmare on Elm Street.
Nice. Howling was a good one. The first.
Yeah. Apparently, they're supposed to be remaking it.
I watched the God. I'm so freaking old. I watched. It was a rerun, but it was Lon Chaney, not Lon Chaney Jr., but Lon Chaney's Phantom of the Opera. And just the stuff that he went through physically to make that happen during that time period. And Dracula, the original Dracula movie with Bela Lugosi. The movie that freaked me out, though, as an older guy was Angel Heart with De Niro and Mickey Rourke when Mickey Rourke was still pretty. Good night, man. That was such a well-done flick. It was terrifying.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Swamp said, do you think the Paranormal Activity series deserves its criticisms?
The second one beyond, I think they do. But as far as the first one, people were all over that movie for the time. And it's actually, I think, going to be 10 years old this year.
Wow.
So,
oh, my God. Really?
I think that. And, yeah.
In case you didn't feel old.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right.
See,
just in case.
Right.
I like the Spanish one they did, like 5 or something like that. I thought that was a different take on it for sure.
Yeah, well, there's part 6 coming out.
Oh my God!
January. Yeah.
See, yeah, I know they're going to milk it for everything it's worth, and that more power to them if they can make money off it. If you're the guy producing the movie or whatever the case may be, but I thought it was a really clever idea. I thought, wow, they've taken it to that next step, and because they did that with the first Paranormal Activity movie, they brought us some really cool found footage flicks. There's one about that. I think it's called The Devil's Pass. About this, which is a real paranormal case that I'm doing on my show, actually, about these guys in the late 50s, early 60s that were hiking in Russia, out in the middle of nowhere, and they found their bodies about a year later, and they were all in their underwear in the snow, and they died of hypothermia. And these were all experienced hikers. Nobody knows what happened to them. Some of them had radiation poisoning. So this found footage movie about investigating that was a really cool flick. And there have been some really cool zombie flicks too, found footage movies, like the Frankenstein's, army or whatever the hell that was. About Nazis. Who the hell knows? But it was still really fun and goofy, And
I think I think one of the best found footage films that in my opinion is highly underrated, and I think you can still find it on Netflix now. It's called The Taking of Deborah Logan.
Oh, that's so good.
I was fucking.
That is
I
such a
didn't
good
like
movie.
it.
Couldn't agree more.
That is incredible. Yeah,
Could not agree. That
is such a good movie.
And I'd be giving spoilers away, but even when you just see her bouncing around the house,
Yeah,
and she ends up on top of the stove at one point, you know.
And the best thing about that film, I think there's only one jump scare. Everything else is just completely psychology.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
Nice
I
pull, by the
love.
way. That's excellent.
She
Absolutely.
did such a good job in that film, and you're so used to seeing her in soap operas, so that was such a nice departure from that type of from that TV medium.
Oh yeah, she's Opal and All My Children.
Yes.
Well, and another one, if you get a chance, that I really enjoyed was the Atticus Institute.
Yes, that was so good.
Wasn't that a good flick?
Yeah, that was good.
It's about a paranormal or psychic investigation back in the 70s, this institute. And the idea is they find a real possession. And the government steps in, and what happens when they do, when they want to weaponize. Oh my gosh, it's so good. I won't spoil the whole thing, but it's
so
really
good.
That was good.
I haven't seen it. I'll check it out.
Yeah, do it, brother.
Goodness. Yes.
All right. Swamp's got another question.
All right, hit us, Swamp.
Okay.
Swamp wants to know, what is your favorite mythological creature?
Jesus
Werewolf.
Christ.
And that's why I love you, my brother.
Snap.
That is why I love you. Oh my God. You're my hero. That is awesome. That is awesome.
That was awesome.
My inner child. Even
I don't think the answers can get any better.
Yeah, you win. Give me more right now. I'm thinking like dragon, werewolf. Bam! JC and the boys. Good night.
Dragons.
Oh goodness! So did you guys see Mr. Black Pasta's video about the crazy preacher, and he did the sing and he said "Dear Mythical Closet God" or something like that.
I have not seen that yet.
Oh, you gotta see that.
Talking about that preacher being in the closet.
Yes, yes.
But they're like anti. They got so much stuff. It's going to take me till I'm 90 to watch it all. It's great.
Oh, I'm telling you, right?
Oh, it's awesome. It's awesome. And
we'll
he's
just go to
awesome.
a playlist and send it your way.
Even if she doesn't.
Mr. Black Pasta. Mr. Black Pasta is great.
Yeah. I'm liking all that stuff. That's why part of the reason I get so excited about this whole deal is the talent around me. Shit, I can't fail. I can't fail.
Yeah. Brother, believe me, I'm hitching my wagon to your star. What are you talking about?
Well, it's good. I mean, the support structure, just everybody's got so much to give from different angles and different viewpoints that, it's like an undestructible structure, something great.
What I want to say too to the listeners is that other than myself, I don't think there's an asshole in this entire group. These people.
Well, you're not an asshole.
People always say that, and then like 2 years later, they're like, "Hagen, you're such an asshole," and I've been telling you that for 2 years. So, but seriously, these are the nicest group of people and the most supportive artistic group of people. I've been involved in other artistic projects before. And it turns into this weird ego infighting that you just go, man, I don't even like myself in this situation. But Tracy has put together a group of people that good night. Just it's a pleasure, absolute pleasure to be a part of. So
right on. Well said, sir.
Yay!
And that's something we can point out too. That's another thing. This whole thing we're doing right here, right now, that seems to be going off pretty well and everything. It was a spur of the moment kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Right.
I got hit up just a little while ago, so we just this is something our group just threw together.
Yeah, we say that, but
And
there's probably like
without-
2 people left in the chat, and they're like, "Well, these guys."
Those
shut
2
up."
people need to know that they're right. Right. They need to fucking know
Those
that
two
they're
people
right.
need to know that we love them.
We love
Absolutely.
them. Yeah,
We love you so much. We want to eat you. We love you so much.
We love all of the people in here. Oh, we had 11. Is there a dislike bot on here? We had 11 dislikes.
Oh my
on our
God.
video.
11 dislikes. Nice. I like that.
I almost guarantee
We
if you
have
track those,
11
there's-
likes and 11 dislikes. So what?
That
the 11
means
dislikes,
Yeah.
I
Who's
guarantee,
disliking
are when
us?
Hagen was talking, when Rev Hagen was
no, they're like, when fucking Manimal was freaking out, he's like, that's weird. That's fucking weird.
Nah, that's when I was talking.
But you haven't been talking, so what are you talking about?
Right. You don't even get to wear that one yet. But hey, that also means that 11 people were fucking watching. Okay.
That's right.
So that's good.
Boom.
Yeah,
We
Yeah.
have created a balance in the universe.
Indeed.
Exactly.
Indeed.
In all honesty, don't even worry about that dislike and like shit. It doesn't matter.
I don't get it. And I think that's why I'm so relaxed with all this whole deal too, is because I just really don't give a fuck. You know, I'm having a good time. We're all friends making cool shit, and I think people are going to like it just for that, because it's not this big stressful head trip. You know, we're not all, corporate out and shit. We're just some horror fans, real, God to honest horror fans that are just hanging together and making some cool shit. You know what I mean? And
Oh yeah.
those 11 dislikes,
I'm with
they just
Swamp.
don't get it.
Totally.
They
Swamp
probably
says,
thought
fuck 'em,
that
so
Killer Tomatoes was a good fucking movie. That's
What I
right.
don't get
You
about
know,
the whole dislike
and
thing, though, is that
Yeah.
why are you going to come to a horror streaming channel? You know what if you've listened to Scream Radio, you know who we are. You're going to come here and go, I don't like these guys. Yeah, well, take it someplace else. Take it down the road. Because you know what we're about. What the hell, man? Come on, be nice. Can't we all just get along unless we're going to eat you, you know? I mean,
Well,
Right.
if anybody
Crazy
thinks
Ralph said the ghosts of your victims disliked it.
that what it was, I knew I should have salted those motherfuckers up a little more. Huh? No,
I'll take my group and we'll take care of these ghosts, man.
there you go. I'm telling you, brother, we go to this fucking ghost town right up the road here from my place.
Yeah.
And
I
there's
just
some
got to
good
get to
shit going on.
I think if the two of us got together in Montana, though, we'd somehow destroy the entire world as we know it. I gotta be honest.
The gates that I'm aware of are secured. It's okay. Dude, I live right here where I'm sitting. This housing development was built where the natives used to herd up anybody that wasn't their tribe. And
But doesn't that
Taking
kind
a
of remind you
business.
of like that South Park thing where they're like, well, yeah, we built this on an
Everything
Indian
reminds
burial ground and urinated on their bones, but what's the problem? Do you know,
Exactly.
you know what I mean?
Exactly.
I mean,
Well, this is
that
not-
can't be good for anybody.
But this was not a burial ground. There's nothing really sacred about this place.
Okay.
It was a warning to anybody that wanted to come through this valley, which was pretty much the only way to get through here. And when Lewis and Clark found this place, when they were back this way riding in, they commented that the round white stones all over the ground.
Oh, wow.
And then they got closer. And it was
Oh,
not
good night.
stones. It was skulls. Yeah. Because
Pulling out Lewis and Clark, you're killing me, brother. That's amazing.
oh, right. You know,
now it's a history lesson. So
right.
That's always
Well,
a history lesson.
radio.
bringing that up because there was a lot of disrespect here too. They cut the bodies up and flung them all over the place as a warning to, the Vlad deal. It was effective. It was effective. But yeah, it's so you might be able to find some disturbing things here outside of my perimeter. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Now, do you mind if I ask you guys a horror question here?
Go.
Okay, for everybody, and Immunity, this is your gig, and I feel like a shithead for even kind of taking it over for a second. But if everybody could tell me, do you enjoy horror movies more where it's a creature that's the antagonist, or if it's a human being? Because for me, the human being ones always freak the shit out of me because I know humans are the real monsters. and I always root for the monsters when it's a monster one. So do you like the monster horror better, or do you like more of like a Leatherface, more of like a Texas Chainsaw Massacre kind of thing, more than like a werewolf? Do you know what I'm saying? Those are your two options.
Supernatural as opposed to could actually happen.
There you go. All right.
There it is. That's a tough fucking question, man.
I'm here for the people, man. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, the supernatural always has that obvious magical edge, you know, that you can't really understand it thing. So there's that. But the human
which one
side
scares
of it,
you more, though?
we don't get scared, Rick.
Well, but for the humans out there who...
Oh, we're asking the monkeys. I see.
Good night. Good night.
All right, I relent then. The question was not for me, and I will properly chastise myself later.
Yeah. Well, what I could say for you, Rev, is well, first let me say, this is us. This is not me, so I hold no ill will towards your questions or your ideas or what you want to get to know from everyone. That being said,
don't ever do
I
it.
prefer more of
kids. Oi,
I love all kinds of horror films, all kinds of sci-fi stuff like that, but the human aspect is so real.
Yeah,
bad shit happens in this world.
Indeed,
needs to be exposed.
But isn't that creepy? Like Henry, the Portrait of a Serial Killer, freaked my shit out so much when it came out.
Oh, I love that movie.
Yeah, it was really good, but it terrified me. And I'll watch freaking zombies eviscerate people and go, oh God, how do they do that? I'll watch a movie like that and I just go, that could be my neighbor. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Exactly.
Maybe I'm digressing too much. I don't know. I hear what I totally agree with you, and I think that a lot of humanity is reflected in the creature movies for sure as well. But, which one scares you more? I mean, well, totally. But Immunity, which one frightens you more? Is it the creature ones or
a movie like the Babadook freaks me out more than
good flip
than something like The Howling.
Yeah, nice pull.
Something like Deborah Logan scares the shit out of me more than say, a Freddy Krueger.
Yeah. Deborah Logan I'm going to be just totally disgusting and nobody will watch my show ever again. But Deborah Logan, movies like that just get me hard. I love that shit. It's like good night, man. That's so exciting. I can't even
we have made it, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you. I'll be here.
We figured it out, Rev.
We'll be here all night. Thanks.
That's fucking awesome. Yeah.
It is.
Tracy, what about you? What's going on?
I think, well, for me, people scare me more than monsters.
Yeah.
A movie that really gut punched me was Funny Games.
Oh
yeah. God,
my God.
Yeah.
That was
hated that movie.
That was such a gut punch. That was there's another one, I think it's Ills. Well, it's French for they. That's another one that was in that vein.
Wow.
Like those movies, same thing as The Strangers, those types of nihilistic movies, where there's just no Deus Ex Machina that comes in to save the day. And with Funny Games, I was yelling at the television like, somebody come help. And just the way they ended it, the way that they without spoiling it for anyone who hasn't seen it, but just the way that they did the mom and the whole journey with that whole scenario, it was like there was just no hope.
Yeah, totally.
Super disturbing. Yeah.
Well, Auntie, get on board, man. What freaks you out? Is it creatures? Is it human beings? Talk to me. Tell me something.
Well, like Tracy was saying, that funny games. I mean, it freaked me out so bad that I just didn't even like it. Well, I didn't like that thing they did talking to the camera. That just pissed me off. It was like,
Oh, yeah,
really?
when they go to the wall, yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
I mean, it was
cheated.
like, that's not fair.
Yes.
Yeah, it was like a cheat, you know?
I know, who would talk to a
Yeah.
camera?
The supernatural stuff always scares me because I don't know, it's like I don't know if it's done really well. It's like, oh my God, what are you gonna do? I mean, it's you can't come at it like a human being. I mean, you can kill a human being if you need to. Uh, but those things are like, there is a kind of a recent movie, well, not real recent, it came out in 2014, I think, that is one of the better horror films that's come out recently, because lately I think they've been terrible. But
Lay
it
the
was
word on
called,
the heathen, man. Who is it? What's going on?
it's called Oculus.
Yes.
Oh, I
Oh
love
my
Oculus.
God.
Yeah.
That scared me. I mean, it was the
Yeah.
first movie that actually made me really creeped out. I was watching it home alone, and I got up in the to go to the other room to get a blanket. You know, I paused the movie. I was like, I wasn't really thinking. I was like, oh, this is pretty good. Anyway, I got up to go get a blanket because I was getting all cold. And the room was
Sure.
dark, and I ran back to the living room with my blanket because I got so creeped out. And I'm like, oh my God, this movie's getting under my skin big time. So
No,
yeah,
that was a creepy one. Yeah.
oh, that was so good. And the girl in it, she reminded me of Heather Donahue from the Blair Witch Project,
Nice.
because it was like, yeah, she was like her, except it was personal, you know, because she was just so driven to kill this mirror and find out about it and all that.
Well, and you got Starbucks
Ugh.
from Battlestar Galactica. Come on. You know, as the mom, you know.
Yeah.
There you go.
I love her. She won't return my calls anymore, but I still love her. You know.
Right? Are you still blocked, brother? Are you still blocked? aren't you?
6'7". Star 6'7".
Well, you know, that was Amy from Doctor Who, and I loved her when she was on Doctor Who, so that was cool to see her in Oculus.
I haven't seen it yet,
Because
so
I'm a
what's up?
nerd, so
Her
yes.
name.
I can't remember it either. It's killing me.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I
Karen.
don't remember
So,
either.
like, they're more sci-fi.
Karen.
Well, Alien changed my life when Alien came out. It
Oh,
absolutely
dude,
changed my life.
fucking great movie.
Oh,
Dude,
me
Now,
too.
there's
I
a
had to
question
see
that-
that at the
there's a
theater.
question. There's a question worth asking. Is that
Yeah.
a science fiction movie, or is
Well,
that
you
a
know,
horror movie?
Well, in space, no one can hear you scream was their gig. So I would argue that it was more of a horror flick, you know? I mean,
One could argue that that's just fucking science, because you cannot, in fact, hear him scream out there.
yeah, I'm sorry I didn't get that. Oh,
no, but yeah,
I-
great fucking movie for sure.
Yeah.
But I have often watched it drift. You can find it in both genres,
Yeah,
and
well,
I think it fits in both genres.
and I think
Because
you could
even
say
though
the
they're
same-
not supernatural, that's some scary shit.
well,
right?
that
I
is-
mean-
and when you see something like The Fourth Kind, which for me was a creepy movie, you know, and I've
Yeah.
listened to some of these therapy tapes where people are doing regressions from abductions, and it is the scariest shit you've ever heard in your life. And yes, sometimes they're leading the person in the hypnosis, and it gets a little weird, but that's some terrifying stuff for me. And to me, that's straight up horror. You know, even though it's sci-fi, that's
Right.
some scary shit. You know.
Well, I mean, horror in itself is psychological, you know, to
Well,
where, as we're
I would
just
argue-
talking, it can drift back and forth between serial killer, werewolf, vampire, demon, fucking alien. You know what I mean? It's fear, I think, is the defining factor of
Yeah.
horror. All right.
Because you could argue, I believe, that H.P. Lovecraft was almost science fiction. You're going to a different dimension is trying to break into our world. So to me,
Definitely.
that's very
My mirror.
quantum physics-y sci-fi. And yet, when I started reading him when I was 10. Talk about a twisted childhood. And
No doubt
that-
about that. No doubt about that.
But that idea of, oh my God, something could break through, and just seeing it makes you go insane. Just perceiving this
Now-
creature walking is going to break you as a human being. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yep. Now Swamp has another question.
All
Before
right.
I get to that question, just if it's cool with you guys, we're gonna run for about another 15 minutes.
Yeah.
All right.
Does that work for everyone? And
2
we're
hours?
gonna be
Yeah, we've been here a minute
we're
now.
gonna do that on Twitch. So anyone in the chat that's just joining in, hey, what's up? Creepypasta Dish is in the house now.
What's in the house?
Welcome, my friend.
15 minutes just went long.
Exactly. That's what happens to my streams. My streams, I'll come on and I say, all right, I'm going to go
It's
for an
like
hour.
that
Longer
third-
than that.
4 hours later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like that third shot at the bar.
I've been on Immunity streams when he's been like, we're going to cut this off in 10 minutes. 2 hours later.
That's like,
Yeah,
I'm going to quit smoking after this one. Yeah.
It's like you say, it's not the 20th bong hit that gets you. It's that first one. I'm just saying.
I'm just saying. Yeah.
You got me. You got me. All right. So
Okay, go ahead.
For real,
Questions.
for real. 15 more minutes. Okay.
Yeah.
All right,
Really,
just
yeah,
don't
that's
want
totally
to
cool.
surprise anybody. Swamp
Maybe.
says, or wrong turn.
Nice.
Ha!
Wrong
I'm
turn
going-
freak my shit.
I'm going wrong turn if we're comparing present day.
Yeah.
But if you're going to watch the old Hills Have Eyes, I'm going old Hills Have Eyes.
Yeah, when they ate the baby.
Yeah. Freaky.
you don't
freaky
eat
shit.
babies. That's all I'm
Don't
saying.
eat
Unless
the
you're a dingo.
babies.
Yeah.
Why
Well,
not?
yeah,
Yeah, unless you're a dingo.
but why eat
Dingo
the
ate
baby?
my
If you let it
baby.
grow a few years, you get so much more meat in the whole 9 yards. So that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but
There's nothing in the book about not.
yeah, you can
The
always
dingo
cut the
ate my
flesh.
baby.
Cut the flesh off.
Grown up
They're-
some more
they're
fairy
tender.
Well, that original Hills Have Eyes, though, that bald guy. Oh
Ooh,
my
bitchin'
God,
movie.
man. I wish I could remember his name. I saw him in
Man,
an
that's-
airport of all things in San Francisco years ago, and I was like, "Oh my God, I'm such a fan!" And I know I freaked them out because I freaked myself out. But
Ha!
he
Hell
is
yeah.
he is such a creepy looking dude, and he's the nicest guy in the world. At least when you meet him in an airport, you know he could be eating people in the bathroom for all I know. But he was really a nice guy, and that he. I love the fact that guys like that, or even I'll just say character actors, in horror flicks especially, can make a living and buy a home and be successful by being an awesome, terrifying character actor in a horror movie. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
This guy's sending his kid to college and doing the thing, and he's the freak from Hills Have Eyes. My God.
Hell yeah.
You know, even though he totally reminds me of the one band, I can't remember their name, from the late 80s, early 90s from Australia. How do we
I
dance?
know who you're
You're
talking
talking
about.
Midnight Oil.
Midnight Oil. He totally
Midnight
Like
Oil. Yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah, he's a
How can
creepy
you
looking dude.
When your beds are burning.
Beds are burning.
That's it. That's it. That's right.
Oh
That's
yeah.
right.
Oh yeah. So yeah, if it's the original Hills Have Eyes, gotta go with that. But Wrong Turn, that idea of like a rest stop bathroom is an alternative reality. I'll never stop at a rest stop again, if I'm being honest.
Well, I'll tell you,
Christ.
I used to be a truck driver when I was young, and I'm telling you, you get off a 20-hour run sometimes walking those places out in the middle of fucking nowhere. It's all weird inside and shit. Smells like something you can't fucking identify, you know. It can get weird. It can get weird. But everywhere I go, it gets weird.
Swamp says, can you guys agree that Cabin Fever is the worst movie of all time?
No, I cannot agree with that. I cannot agree with that.
Yeah, Eli, I love Eli Roth, but good night, brother.
Yeah, I've seen some,
There's far worse films than that. I mean,
Far
all you got
worse.
to do is just go to Netflix and type in #horror.
Oh, let me tell you, what the fuck?
That is the
Revenge
shittiest
Gate
film
is
ever.
the worst movie ever. If you watch that movie, just cut your own head off and drive on. It is.
I mean, we talked about Deathbed earlier, but Jesus.
God,
What the hell?
It's
I
like,
never even heard of that one.
oh, I'm telling
been
you, if I see
You meant
30-year-olds being teenagers graduating from high school one more time, and I want to kill them 5 minutes into the movie myself, you already know who the real
that's
killer
when I
is.
graduated.
Oh,
There you go.
Lord.
Hashtag Grease, the horror side.
Yeah. Yeah.
Grease the horse side, huh? Yeah, I don't know, man. That's a question like with my favorite. I don't think I could answer that. I've seen some shitty fucking movies, man. I mean,
Pretty
come
bad
on.
ones out there.
Now,
Yeah.
Cabin
Well,
in
like
the
what we
Woods
were
was
talking
a great
about.
movie. That's all I'm saying.
That was
Oh,
on. Is
yeah.
that where they had the technicians and shit?
Yeah, they had got that running the
Yes.
different scenarios in different parts
man,
of the
that
world.
shit was awesome, dude. I was like, oh, I want part 2 of this
And you
shit.
got Thor. Yeah, eye candy for the ladies. Come on.
Who ran into a wall? Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah. Well, you know.
His legs splattered like a.
Yeah, I like that one. I like comedy horror though.
Yeah.
For me, that's probably my go-to. You know what I mean? Hail to be king, baby. I mean, Bruce Campbell.
Yeah,
Dude, I
yeah.
love all his stupid shit. I love almost everything he's done. Campy, dumbass shit. If they put the effort into it and it's got a little funny to it and still a little freak factor, man, that's one of the coolest, pretty much horror movies. But
Totally.
I really like one that takes me slow down, you know, gets me settled in and comfortable and shit. You know, they start feeling like everything's fine, and you know, and then it just fucking totally fucks you up. That's a good horror movie, man. I like, but I'm a huge Hitchcock fan. I mean,
Oh yeah.
getting in the head. That's why I dig this radio shit.
Oh yeah.
It's up to them listening to us. You know what I mean? As to how they're seeing it, how they're playing it out in their minds. So nothing's more scary than a person's own mind. You know what I mean?
Oh,
So and so that's where I really like is anything that's got that psychological factor to it. Hell yeah. Event
When you're talking
Horizon.
about psychological factor to it, I just recently watched a film on Netflix, nonetheless, and it leaves you kind of, well, but it's called They Look Like People.
They look like
Oh, what's
people.
that?
Oh, you know, I've seen. I saw a synopsis of it, but I haven't watched the movie. What'd you think?
I'd recommend it. It's one of those films that'll kind of leave you like not guessing because the ending kind of wraps things up, but then you're kind of like, well, was it?
Yeah.
Was it?
You know, I can't really say too much more other than that because it'll give it away. But
right.
the way it was filmed, it seems like it was very low budget. There are scenes where you'll laugh and you're like, okay. Then there's scenes like you're not invested in the film, but then you're kind of questioning like what was going on the whole time.
Yeah.
Right.
So to me, it's like
I'll check that one out
low-key basis. It's nothing really in your face. There's some freaky ass scenes in it.
Yeah.
And towards the end, you're gonna just be like, okay, so something is going to, well, and then that's kind of what you're gonna be left with.
Huh.
I agree.
Yeah.
Swamp says Hush. I've seen Hush on Netflix. That's another good one.
Yeah.
One of those cat and mouse cases. Have you seen it?
I have not seen it yet.
It takes place out in the middle of nowhere. There's a girl that's living on her own. She is a writer, so she lives remotely, but she's deaf and she can't speak.
I have seen that one.
She can see.
I did enjoy that one.
Oh no, I did see that.
There's two
movie.
movies like that. One is Don't
saw
Speak,
that.
and the other one's
Yeah.
Hush that I really enjoyed.
Yeah,
Because a bunch of movies came out where somebody was blind or deaf or in that year.
I think Hush was better than that.
Yeah,
Don't
I know. I
Speak or
agree.
whatever,
I agree.
or Don't Breathe.
Yeah, Don't Breathe. That's the one. Yeah. The one I really enjoyed was The Devil's Candy.
He said don't speak.
That I thought was a really
Don't Speak.
Don't speak, don't breathe.
speak.
Just don't do anything. All right. Just
No, what?
not you, Tracy. God, say
Yeah. Just shut the fuck up.
yeah. Tell them
We're
the
spinning
radio
out of
station.
control here. We're spinning out of control.
Yeah, I'm going to tell the radio station or Tracy, stop speaking. What do you want to make nuts? No, I thought
Just
no.
Oh, there's this movie I saw not too long ago. It was really good. Can't give the name. It was Australian and it takes place in a radio station of all things.
Nice.
And yeah,
I like it already.
Yeah, and people are like turning into some kind of weird zombies, but not like zombies like we're used to. It's like I don't know. It's like you could hear voices coming from them, but their mouths aren't moving. I can't remember the name of it.
But
Somebody
it's in the
help
snow,
me.
right? There's snow going on in the background while this is happening? Or am
I
I talking crazy?
I don't remember if there's snow or not. There might have been.
I'm thinking of a
I think
completely different radio
Talking
station.
crazy.
the movie was, the title of it was
Oh.
like the name of the town I think that it was in, but I think
Talking
it started
crazy.
with an O. Maybe. Shit. I can't remember.
Don't you love that? Y'all jump in. I'm about to
I-
drop some shit, and everything goes fucking black. You're like, all right, never mind.
There we go.
I do that.
Well, anyway, it
every
was
fucking
like
day.
it
There's
was
a
spread by
Hallmark
words. This
where,
virus, it was
shit.
spread by words somehow.
Wow.
Wow.
Does that ring a bell?
No, I don't think I've checked that out at all. And I've seen a couple of foreign flicks that were pretty good, man. What Rev was talking about earlier, you know, some of those Japanese movies and stuff, the
Ooh.
Korean ones, damn
Pontypool.
good, man.
Thank you, Crazy
Yeah.
Ralph.
Audition, man, freaked my shit.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
one of my favorite
Oh,
movies ever.
yes.
When that burlap bag rolls into the kitchen when she's on the phone and she doesn't acknowledge what's going on behind her, I was like, I need another bong hit or something because I don't know what the hell is going on here. I'm freaking out.
Yeah, she just sat there with her head all the way down. It was
Yeah,
like, and listening to the phone ring, and you can see a little smile creep up on her face while that
Yeah.
phone's ringing because she knows
Japanese
it's
are
that
on a whole
dude.
nother level with that.
Oh
You
my
know, I don't know
God,
if it's
yes.
the repressed sexuality. I don't know what's going on, but they freak me out,
Oh, I love me some
Yeah.
Japanese horror.
Suppressed sexuality. That's when they back up to the back of the cage.
Sure, yeah.
Yes, that's exactly it.
Absolutely, exactly.
I was
Yes.
just checking. I was just checking.
Sure,
Just
whatever you
checking.
say, dude.
Well, that is exactly it. You know what movie was
That's a-
really good? And I think it's a bit underrated, but Identity was really good.
I loved that.
Yes,
John
that was
Cusack.
great.
Yeah,
I don't
and
think I've seen
Ted
that. God, I'm
McGinley.
sucking. I'm sucking.
Well,
Identity was really good. That the ending, you know,
Oh,
it's one of those. That was one of those endings that, and I'm really good at guessing things.
yeah.
That ending caught me off guard, and then I was like, crap, like, because where it went off, I'm like, where is he? So yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
any
yeah,
movie that
definitely.
makes me enjoy a Busey, like Jake Busey was really good in that movie.
Yeah,
He was.
And the guy with the shaky eyes that
Oh,
played
I
the
love
main
that
guy,
guy.
he is so
Dude, he's in all
good.
kinds of shit. He's in all
John
kinds of
Cusack.
shit.
Yeah. Oh, John Cusack. Well, you can't go wrong.
Yeah,
with
he's
John.
great.
Come on.
Dude.
Yeah,
And then
can't
you
go
had
wrong.
Ted
there.
McGinley in there.
Now,
There's a
another
lot of good ones.
gem on Netflix is Last Shift.
Yes.
Oh, I saw
About,
that.
I've
about
seen
it.
that. Yes.
Dude,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
fucking movie was good, man.
Oh, yeah.
And they played it just enough that, yeah, tightened up the flesh a couple of times. That was good stuff, man. I really enjoyed it.
Well, if it
And
weren't for
I-
Netflix, I never would have seen Troll Hunter, for God's sakes. I mean, come on.
Wow, that was fucking awesome, wasn't it? I was like, bitch, dude, that was great. But yeah, Last Shift was amazing, man. And I passed it up quite a few times because the cover looks cheesy as fuck. Let's be
Yeah.
honest. It's just like, stop.
Yeah, I agree with you.
know? So I blew past it quite a few times because I'm pretty selective with my time nowadays. It's like, that's crap. I can tell by looking at it. But I just popped on it one day and gave it a shot, and boom. I was like, hell yeah, that's a 5-star or whatever the fuck.
Well,
you
what
know?
kills me, though, is you've got some really shitty movies now that have some amazing promo. Like the posters look phenomenal. I go, oh, I'm all about it. Then 10 minutes into it, I'm like, oh, great, a handheld Czechoslovakian movie that I can't understand. This is fantastic. You know what I mean? That it's horrid, you know. But their poster and their promo has been phenomenal. You know, I want the company that promoted it more than anything.
All right. Well, and I think that's something that's took over the genre too. I mean, a lot of these flicks, the trailer is better than the goddamn movie. You know what
Well,
I
you
mean?
see the whole movie.
Yeah.
It's just like, what the fuck, you know?
I hate
And then
that
you got
we
the
get it.
trailers that tell the whole fucking movie in
Yeah.
the trailer, and you're like,
And then
thanks.
you see the movie and half the trailer's not in it.
Right? You're like,
You're
what
like, oh,
happened?
that's on the editing floor.
Oh, I
That's-
hate that. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's how it normally goes.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
With a lot of the films that get put in theaters, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, guys, it is that magical time,
Woohoo!
almost 11 p.m. my time.
What a blast getting to
This
know
has
you
been
guys better, man.
a
This
lot
was
of
really
fun.
fun.
Yeah, this was really fucking cool, man. Next time, I'll do my hair and stuff.
Oh, no, baby, you're dead.
Some makeup tips.
Yeah, I probably won't anyway, but yeah,
Well, there you
this
go.
was great fun. I think it's a good way to get us all out there too,
Yeah, join next time as a
Thank
Facebook.
everybody for watching. Good night.
Not
Everybody that joined us tonight, thank you. We love you guys so much. I can't even tell you how grateful we are that you love the station.
Yeah.
And tune into something like this,
And you 11 haters out there, despite your negative comment, yeah, we
We're up
fucking
to
hate you
19
too.
now.
Okay.
That's up to 18 now.
And don't think I don't have the
hate us.
software to find you, Mooks. I'm coming for you. That's all I'm saying.
That's a good. Next time, if I do this on YouTube for whatever reason, I'll just take the ability to like or dislike out of the question.
I like
No,
it.
just leave it up there. If they took the time to watch us.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Negative
true,
reviews are
true.
still reviews.
Yeah, look at Howard
Welcome.
Stern. More people watched him that hated him than liked him. So we'll take
That's
what we can
true.
get, man. What
Indeed.
the hell?
Indeed. But yeah, it's all listeners, man. That's cool.
We're
If
here
they're-
for the
if they're-
people, yeah.
Yeah, we're here for the people.
So-
I'm here for you guys to hate me or love me. I don't.
Oh, yeah.
give a- How's that?
Hate me, love me.
Indeed.
It is what it is. This is all
It is.
passion
But
for us.
this was great fun.
and we're all gonna. I
Right,
enjoyed
well,
it a lot.
Either you love us or you hate us. Either way it goes, we're on your mind. So we win either way.
That's
Absolutely.
right.
Yep, and this stream is staying up on the channel, so I'm gonna tweet it out there. Come check us out. This is our get to know us kind of bit and just kind of hang with us. So from here on out, everyone in the chat, if you wanted to share this on Twitter or wherever you want to share it, starting September 3rd, we're not sure of the time yet, but starting September 3rd, we're going to be live streaming on Twitch.
Nice.
Nice.
Can I just say one more thing real quick? Everybody you see on the screen, you guys, has a YouTube channel. So make sure you watch their station, and subscribe to it. That's all I'm saying.
Agreed.
And we do actually have a SCRM Radio YouTube channel where I will be posting interviews. So that's this channel. You'll be able to go check out all of our SCRM Radio interviews, either done by myself or other members of SCRM Radio. So that is on our YouTube channel.
Excellent.
Indeed.
Very
Well done.
cool.
Well said.
Very cool. You all are very cool. I dig hanging out with you people. You guys are fucking awesome. Groovy people. And this was too much fun. We should do this again for sure.
Absolutely.
It's-
Next time we should be
It's gonna be
drinking
done
heavily.
again?
That's all I'm saying.
I'll even fucking shave, guys. How's that?
Uh-oh.
That
No, I
is
won't.
awesome.
I'll send
No,
you
I
all a
don't
nice
shave.
bottle of wine, and we can take it from there. That's all I'm saying.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's it. Let's
Good.
time the next one so everybody's way fucked up. That'll be groovy.
Well, one night there'll be a drunk stream, I'm sure.
Holy shit.
Wait, this wasn't the drunk show?
Yep.
Ralph's like, got the bottle down. He's like, all right. My bad. That's great. Yeah, you
Hello,
guys are too much
guys.
fun. Scream Radio, baby. Check it out. Fuck.
Scream Radio.
See? You hear that radio voice that girl's got? Fuck.
Give me a
Scream Radio.
That's it.
Oh, and by the way, to everyone who listens all the way through to this, we are doing, not quite sure the details yet, but I would say we're probably going to do a Scream contest in honor of Scream Radio.
Oh, right
Yes.
on. Right on.
Oh, and I promised I would
So-
sing. So I'm going to
Oh,
close
that's
this out.
right.
Take us out,
Yeah.
baby.
I did promise.
Close us out.
Okay, so this is a song that I wrote, and I'll be releasing it soon. So I'm just going to do the chorus because it fits. Yay. Okay.
Indeed.
So, I know it's the way you make me feel when I'm with you, and it's the way you smile that lets me know everything will be okay, and it's the way that you hold me that makes me feel secure, and I know that It's all because of your love. Yay.
We have an angel on Scream Radio, ladies.
Oh,
Yeah!
yeah.
Awesome. Even the cage people did the wave.
To everyone,
In there.
Beautiful.
very much so.
Indeed, that was awesome. That was awesome.
Yep.
Good night, everybody.
Awesome. Good.
Good night.
Good night,
people.
everybody.
Thanks for stopping in.
Good
Be
night.
safe. Keep those heads up, my brothers and
Community, go to
sisters.
bed.
All right. All you listeners,
Sad now.
thanks for helping us out. That was awesome. That was awesome.
Love you haters. Give us more hate. Love you.
Yeah.
Love
Alright.
that.
I mean, well, we got 21 of them now, so there you go.
Woo!
All right.
Right on. Scourge of the planet.
We are all awesome.
Fuck yeah.
So we're all awesome.